All right, before I actually get into today's video, I want to make sure I dive into a couple different aspects. The first is that I will be making my own personal tier list in regards to the characters that I have used and, just experience them multiple pieces of content, as well as working on showcases for characters who have gotten buffs. So make sure to stay on the lookout for that. However, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be comparing arguably the two most damage dealing red units in the game. Now, I know Domain Gojo is a thing. However, given the fact that YUTA is currently, available for global players for just a little bit more time, and then TOJI is going to be coming out soon. Also, add on top of the layer with YUTA, he just got, new buffs for his whole kit. TOJI obviously has not, but I do think it's an opportunity to compare and contrast them. So let's go ahead and talk about YUTA first. So keep in mind, we are going to be talking about all of the post-adjusted skills. That is the primary focus that we are going to be doing, and we're going to be focused on with YUTA. So his skill 1, keep in mind, I'm also going to be doing everything at level 5. We're not going to be looking at level 10, so, it's a little more accessible for majority of players in terms of skill levels, not just everything maxed, right? So the skill 1, level 5, is he's going to be dealing a massive amount of melee taijutsu damage to a single enemy, and it's going to increase his skill's crit rate. So this is very, very important to know, the fact that he is going to be boosting his own critical rate. So while yes, skill 1s are typically not very good, this one having the ability to increase his critical hit rate is very, very, very good. Now, skill 2, the Cursed Speech, arguably the best part about his kit, is that while not only you're going to be doing Jujutsu damage to all enemies, the more cursed energy you have, the greater the damage increase. Additionally, up to a max of 90% can be stacked on top of that current damage, while also the fact that it's going to increase all enemies' Jujutsu damage received by 14% for 2 turns. Again, depending on how much cursed energy you have, this can go all the way up to 35. And additionally, a third layer is that depending on your own Jujutsu and the enemy's remaining HP, it could just instantly kill an enemy. So you have 3 layers of, stipulations here, right? You can increase the damage that you do with this skill, which is also just very, very good. Or you can increase the Jujutsu damage the enemy receives, or even further, you could just instantly kill an enemy. This skill is, in my own personal opinion, I know the ultimate does Unga Bunga damage, but I really, really, really like skill 2 as his best ability. So it's a huge key piece for YUTA. Skill 3 at level 5 it's just going to be doing a combination of taijutsu, jujutsu, taijutsu, and then jujutsu to a selected enemy for 4 hits. That's all it's doing. The damage was increased by a small portion, not anything too substantial, but it's still pretty decent. The ultimate, unfortunately, is just unchanged. This is just, it is what it is, right? It's just, a lot of damage to all enemies, increasing your own Jujutsu and Taijutsu damage by 20% for 4 turns. It's just that. It's just very bland and simple. Not necessarily a bad thing, but this is just, it is what it is kind of thing, right? So jumping over here, we have all of his other stuff. The I Won't Let You Die, being able to heal an allies, but reducing his own cursed energy, all of that stuff. However, unfortunately, it does not affect him, right? While also being able to have a counter with Rika is very nice. Now, on top of all of that, his post-adjusted skill is that he has a zone state now, right? It's going to increase his own Jujutsu damage by 20% when a black flash is performed. So it allows you to do a little bit more damage with the ultimate and skill 2, right? So that is YUTA's kit, okay? TOJI. Now, TOJI very much and along the lines with the anime, is a taijutsu monster. He does not have any jujutsu damage dealing abilities whatsoever, and also cannot perform a black flash, so keep that in mind. Skill 1 is a massive amount of melee damage to a single enemy, and it's going to decrease the selected enemy's crit hit resistance by 18.5% for 3 turns. So you're doing a decent amount of damage while also reducing the enemy's critical hit resistance. Very, very good. Skill 2, again, a lot of melee damage. Then keep in mind, this skill nullifies any reduced damage received. So anytime the enemy has like an increased defense or, like a stipulation in there that states that, they're going to take reduced damage, this one just goes straight through that, which is very nice. Skill 3 is a massive good ability that I unfortunately just don't use very often because I like skill 2 the most, but it does enable him to increase his own break damage by 1 time, a massive percentage, as you can see there. Then it's going to remove attack nullification and remove 1 buff on the selected enemy. So this is a very much a game-changing ability, given the fact that while Toji is a monster damage dealing unit, you can see here that he also has some versatility, being a somewhat pseudo support character, being able to remove a buff and attack nullification, so that's very good to keep in mind. The ultimate, again, it's going to remove the attack nullification and 1 buff on all enemies this time instead of 1 selected enemy, and then it's going to be doing ranged taijutsu damage to all enemies, a absolute lot. So you have 2 instances right here of being a support-esque character, and technically skill 2 does as well, being able to remove defense for the enemy. So you have 3 instances here where he is providing support for the entire team, where Yuta is doing this on skill 2 and his I won't let you die. So 2 instances for Yuta, 3 instances for Toji, okay? Now, jumping down here for his skills is that he's going to be increasing his own taijutsu damage. He's going to be recovering his own HP every turn. On the contrary to Yuta, who is not, healing himself. Toji's healing himself, but not everybody else, okay? He's also going to be allowing for, damage reduction for himself by 15%, and he has a 20% chance to evade a single target attack. He is also going to be, when he performs a critical hit, it's granted guaranteed hit status to himself for 50%. So, in conjunction with this and this, you have a possibility just evading attacks. And then his other passive ability is, additionally, when that critical hit is performed, he's able to increase his own taijutsu damage, okay? So, where would I say the priority list is for the character? Now, I'm taking out what people's, character-wise, who they like more. Like, personally, I like Toji as a character a lot more than Yuta. I'm talking just strictly anime purposes. So that's just me. We're just taking that out altogether. We're going to be looking at this context in regards to you don't have either of them. Don't have a strong red character, so that means no domain expansion Gojo. That means no nimble body Yuji. That means no Bara. Okay, so we're just looking at it like who do you want in terms of raw red damage dealing characters. On one hand, you have a character with Yuta who is great teamwork wise. He's able to be plopped in any team and provide support for them, whereas Toji, you can run him by himself and he can actually sustain it for himself, being the fact that he gives himself damage reduction as well as healing himself, and also providing a little bit as well for other teams. Stat wise, we got to look at that as well. We got 975 HP and 295. This is just basic stat as well. So we can see here that Toji is superior in terms of HP and taijutsu. Obviously, jujutsu and curse energy, max curse energy, all that is not going to matter. But we also have to keep in mind access to the ultimate, right? So Toji is 1,363. YUTA is 1,558. So in conjunction with all of their abilities as well as the numbers for their kits, I do say Toji is slightly better, given the fact, and keep this in mind, like I said earlier, is that he's able to go and do it all himself. YUTA is not able to do that at all. And I think it's a really, really negative downside to him that he can't heal himself. Yes, there are other characters who can possibly provide that healing, but the fact that Yuta can't do that, I think is just a massive hindrance for him. Now, the buffs do make him really good, don't get me wrong, but I still think Toji is the superior red unit in regards to him and Yuta.